I hope. Hi. I just started to record as well the meeting. I hope you don't mind to be recorded. Hi, I'm Elka, and yes, so what do we do with Clusity? We first of all, we like to inspire and connect women, which we hope that it as well empowers women to be connected with each other. And why do we do this? Well, we would love that more women find their way into our sector, grow inside of the sector, and really truly feel belonging into the technology sector. How do we do this? How do we connect and inspire? Well, we would like to build a female network, which is based on two columns. I'm sorry, I still have my mind has to switch into English. We are editing role model stories, and we organize events like this or live, and that's all to connect and inspire. The Bloom role model stories we have on our website. You can find them on the Bloom, and they're written interviews, and they want to increase the visibility of the women who are already working in tech to other women. And then we organize as well as set events. And we have here the next event, for example, around Azure Cloud is with Katrien. And if you would like to sign in, you can do this as well via our website.
Okay, thank you. Look, I'm seeing hearts on the screen. Then I'm going to give the word quickly to the team of Arxus, who are our co-hosts of this event today. I think Erlend is going to explain quickly why they are co-hosting this Women in Tech, Women in Azure event with us. Erlend, you are on mute, sorry.
Yeah, so welcome everybody. Thanks for participating. First of all, I'm going to give a short introduction to Arxus, but Bo is going to go more into detail. So Arxus is a managed service provider, cloud provider from the Kronos Group. We're focusing on mainly Microsoft technology. That's also why we are hosting this event together with Hermien and Clusity. Because we see, of course, that we're lacking a lot of female potential within our sector, and we notice that this gives a very good balance at the work floor. So we want to, let's say, inspire everybody to get to know the technology where Arxus is working with. So I'm gonna hand over the word to Bo. She gonna dig a bit deeper into the topics at hand.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Bo. I'm the HR team lead here at Arxus. First of all, I mean, it's lovely to see such a big interest for this event. So thank you guys for all being here. That's wonderful to see. So yeah, who is Arxus? Erlend already explained to you what we do on a technical level, but how does that fit into a partnership with Clusity, right? That's kind of the question here. So we always try to be as socially responsible as a company. So we're always looking for initiatives to improve its impact on socially important themes, right? So we have been doing that for a couple of years now. In fact, we're actually committed to a number of sustainability goals of the United Nations. A couple of examples are the electrification of our car park, for instance, and we also have a cooperation with GoForest, for example. For those of you that don't know who GoForest is, it's a company that is working to stop deforestation. And with their help, we already planted like around 1,000 trees in Madagascar and Peru. So that's very cool. So sustainability is definitely a very important topic for us. And these are just a few examples. You know, there's definitely more. Another big one is the fact that we are collaborating with Microsoft in the Microsoft Partner Pledge. So where we are committing to working on 4 social issues, and one of them is diversity. So and that brings us to our partnership with Clusity, because we love the idea of more powerful women joining our company, and that's why we partnered up with them So yeah, that's a little bit of background on Arxus, and yeah, back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Bo.
Thanks.
Okay, then we're going to get straight into the keynote. So like we said before, Hermien Heveraet is our speaker today. She is the head of solution and technical sales at Microsoft Belgium and Luxembourg. And she's also part of the Benelux leadership team. So she leads a team that provides services to enterprise customers. But besides that, she's already been working for 12 years at Microsoft in various roles, always with a big focus on the Azure platform. And today in her team, they work on a lot of different solutions by Microsoft, also including the Azure Cloud, but also business applications, cybersecurity, data, AI, modern workplace, and more. And the rest, I think she will tell us in her keynote. So please, Hermien, take over my screen and get going.
Yeah, let me build it up here. So first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited that I get this opportunity to share my experience on a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, meaning more female power in the tech industry. But I would generalize it and say, if I, after 14 years in the industry, I hope I can share some energy back and some motivation for more people to become evangelists and share the enthusiasm to join us in this industry, right? So I want to just quickly today share my journey, but from a lens of what did I learn on as a non-tech and to become more technical, but also maybe share why I'm very determined to stay in tech, right? And give some reasons, in my opinion, why everyone should consider a career in technology. So I thought I'd start with the basics about myself, in case we haven't been introduced before. So basically, I'm 40, almost 40. I turned 40 over summer. I'm in the middle of my life, and I would describe myself as extraordinary ordinary. So I love my family. I love to read. I love to do sports. And I was not somebody who was exceptionally given, in terms of, for example, coding at the age of 5 or dreaming of a career in tech. I grew up. I have a business educational background, as you can see here, and I had a strong affinity for technology. But I must say, being almost 40, I grew up without technology. It was a time where there was not yet a computer in every home. And so my tech intensity and my affinity for technology kind of grew as I grew through life. And it's definitely something that I built up through studying and through learning. Ultimately, and I was super proud that I achieved that. I certified myself as an Azure administrator a few years ago, which was, kind of tough for somebody who never opened Visual Studio before in her life. But it's a testament, I think, if with the right attitude and the right, amount of energy to want to learn, there shouldn't be any limits to intensify your knowledge on technology, even if you are, like me, extraordinary at being ordinary in life. And then finally, something that I did kind of learn throughout the years, which I wanted to also add here, is next to knowledge and educational background, in my opinion, understanding your capability as a person, your strengths, is equally as important, especially in a very dynamic industry like technology. Reflecting on what are my capabilities and what do I want to build, but also bring to the table, is equally as important as any knowledge you build in terms of tech or other education. So that's a little bit about me. I'm an activator. I love to think about the future. I love to achieve things, include people, and focus on priorities to get things done. So those are, in my opinion, definitely a couple of capabilities that will help in the tech industry. Then, you can all read my LinkedIn profile. What I wanted to kind of share today with you is reflect on my journey in tech, but with the lens of what did I learn, right? And what do I take away in terms of technology thought leadership? So first of all, as I already said, I didn't have a big dream of working for Microsoft when I was a young girl. I rolled into the industry through my first job, which was a sales role. And actually, that role was very much focused on licensing, which is a pain sometimes in our industry. But in my opinion, it's a fundament to understanding how the business model for technology works. So that was a really insightful first job, and it opened up, I would say, a very big eagerness for me to understand what the products behind the licenses actually did. And that was a big reason for joining Microsoft initially. And I've had, as you can see on the slide, I've had various roles at Microsoft. But I think the constant was the evangelization of the Azure business throughout the different stages of maturity, right? When I had my first conversations about Azure, I really didn't even know what a roadmap, what that really meant, or what an architecture really was. So that was something that I learned. And throughout the years, what I discovered was, the complexity of enterprise IT, what a heterogeneous landscape is, the value of open source. And I think that's something that's super unique to the tech industry, this creative community that contributes and shares, and then also creates an opportunity for businesses to kind of monetize that, to make it enterprise grade. I think it's a beautiful business model, something we can truly learn from. And throughout the journey that I had Microsoft, we've also learned to appreciate open source more, which I will talk about in a second. But so from my journey in tech, what I really want to share with you is I started with no knowledge. And throughout the time, I built a lot of knowledge. And so that's 100% possible through various angles, really, right? There's partner, there's marketing, there's sales, and then ultimately there was project delivery. Super valuable experience to lead a team of architects and really walk the talk, right? So what does it take to gain customer trust, to act with the end in mind, right? And so for me, throughout the journey, I think working in tech is as much about evangelization and change management as it is about deep technology knowledge, about bits and bytes. And especially today, to the element of women in tech, I do feel like we need a lot of female capability in the industry, because trust and adoption is fundamental to the tech industry, right? So we're moving very strongly away from an upfront licensing business into more and more and more decisions being made on the basis of what customers will actually use, what they want to use, what they want to increase their usage for. And so that interpretation requires, I think, a lot of empathy and a lot of customer focus, and definitely aspects to the business next to knowledge that I think, females are extraordinarily strong about. So those are a bit my learnings in terms of going from non-tech to having thought leadership and a leadership position in technology. Today, as you can see, I'm in my third month in a new role at Microsoft, which I would kind of describe as my dream job for a long time. Leading an organization just shy of 100 people who are all obsessive about our solutions and our customers. And we have a huge challenge ahead, which is really to start thinking beyond our own solution expertise, and think about how our customers can really unlock transversal benefits in the cloud. So we have all this data in the cloud, and email and databases and other systems. How do we really start to farm that collective data and that collective insight? And there are tons of scenarios like that we need to discover. And so I'm super eager to keep building my tech knowledge and evolve it to future scenarios for our customers to use. So that's a little bit my journey in tech. Now, what did I really learn? First of all, in my opinion, the company you work for is just as important as the product you work with. Especially in technology, it's constantly evolving. So you will evolve with it. And the reason why I'm particularly thankful, and really grateful and proud to work at Microsoft for 12 years is You know, it's a company that has been throughout regarded as a top company in terms of most valuable companies in the world. And so I'm almost 40. Microsoft is 47. So it's been around for a long time, but to be at the top for that long, I think it's a testament to the tenacity that the company has, to the values that it has in terms of remaining innovative. And I would say most recently become really a company that listens more intently to its partners, to its customers. So as a person, I feel like I can grow in a good way in this company. And as a professional, I have huge respect for the company that I work for, because on the right hand side you can see, you know, we remain a super valuable company, at least to the market, also because of our ability to execute, right? So we are one of those tech players that are very strong in monetizing the innovation they bring to the market, and it requires a lot of work and a lot of skill. And I have a lot of respect to be, and I'm very grateful to be part of that group of people that learn how to do that. So my message here really is, reflect on the company you work for and how it aligns with your values, and how it aligns with the personal and professional development that you have, you know, in your mind for yourself. I really found my spot at Microsoft, and you know, the connection is as strong that I really still aspire to work here until I think I'm ready to leave corporations. So I hope you can find the connection as strong as that. But tech, in my opinion, is definitely a good industry to find an opportunity like that. Then another thing that I reflected on, and that I really wish I learned faster in life, is any journey, in my opinion, is not a self-made singular journey. My success, or at least the things that I think I achieved successfully, and that I'm proud of, was really enabled by mentors and buddies. And you can see Katrien is here on the slide as well. So I'm super excited you will meet with her in a few weeks. But so these are the faces, the actual faces of people that made a tremendous impact in my career, either as mentors or buddies. They gave me opportunities, they gave me space to grow. And maybe most importantly, you know, they gave me a lot of coaching that helped me to get better and to dare to dream bigger and go after my dream job. So that's definitely something that I also value a lot in tech, is the openness in our mindset to share, like the open source community, to contribute to each other's success. And so I would want to leave behind that. For me, this is something that I would have loved to do even faster, is leverage mentors and buddies throughout my career. And then moving forward, the reason why I want to stay in tech is, I believe for everyone today, whether you're young or you're already a bit more mature in your career, if you look to the world today, on the left-hand side, and I used the example of the social dilemma, you know, I believe technology influences a lot of the decisions we make, from the messages we read to the content, you know, the entertainment content that we watch, but also the way that we work and the way that we interact. It's very, very present in our everyday lives. And then on the right-hand side, I use a picture of Chappie, it's a movie about a robot that's, you know, supposedly the first robot that gets coded with a conscience, because today we don't have any IT systems that can think and talk like a human. But I think someday we will get there, right? But that's future. In my opinion, in between, and I love Kathy Wood's, you know, kind of visualization of her big ideas here. If you look at that picture, it's all about tech, and not necessarily cloud computing or hardcore technology scenarios, but innovation throughout key industries is technology driven. And that means that a whole lot of jobs will have technology front and center, right? And so a career in tech, in my opinion, is going to be something for all of us, whether you're in healthcare or public sector or in a commercial industry or in a tech company like I am. I think an affinity and a strong interest, and just believing that, you know, you can master a technology aspect, is going to be a core capability for everyone. So and I can, for one, I still feel a motivation and an energy to keep learning. There's so much on all these bullets that I still don't understand. So I'm super, for example, as a person interested in gene editing and all the CRISPR technology in terms of finding new ways to heal people from serious disease. And honestly, I'm super enthused, I would say, to keep working in tech and make a difference by contributing, right, to business scenarios. And so in conclusion, what did I learn, and what were the learnings that I wanted to share in terms of what I did as a non-tech in the tech world, but also why as a non-tech I want to stay in the technical industry is, first of all, being technical is a relative, in my opinion, it's something relative. It's in the eyes of the beholder, because some people find me very technical, and then you speak to, a senior architect, and he's like, you're not truly technical. It's not a steady state, right? It's something that you need to keep evolving. It's a continuous learning curve. In my opinion, what it takes is a healthy interest in technology and an investment continuously in learning about it and what you love about it. Second, super valuable concept for me has been the growth mindset, and I've taken the liberty to add the Microsoft definition, or at least the definition we use within Microsoft. What is a growth mindset? It's all about, embracing challenges, embracing the fact that you'll fail, looking at that failure as an opportunity to learn, but also asking help from other people to get better, or to get more efficient or more productive, or whatever your goal is. This mindset, this philosophy, we've introduced that in Microsoft, and I'm a firm believer. I honestly think it's a must-have to work with technology and keep being effective in working with technology, because of the constant dynamics that you're faced with. But also in my personal life as a human being and as a professional, I rely on that growth mindset a lot to achieve my goals. I think it's a wonderful way to keep coaching yourself, self-motivate, to attack any challenge that's ahead of you. And then finally, in our previous building as Microsoft, we used to have these posters that said, "Come as you are, do what you love." And to me, that is key. I think remaining true to who you are, be authentic, is super important. So even if you would have maybe an ambition to become more technical, stating that you want to learn but you don't know yet, it's as simple as that as a beginning. But honestly, I think this is continuously part of what you do. As long as you love what you do, I think you can be successful. And then finally, back to the slide with those people who were my mentors and my buddies, a lot of them just said simply, "You can do this, Hermien. If you want to do it, just believe you can do it." And I think that phrase has made a tremendous impact in my career. And here I really want to reflect as a woman in tech. There's always this balance you're looking for. You're a mother, you're a partner, you're a professional with ambitions, and there's a lot of learning to do because it doesn't feel natural, maybe. So this encouragement is something that I want to leave behind. I think it's important to extend the message to women that even though working in tech can be very rational and zeros and ones and bits and bytes, you can do it. And as I said in the beginning, we need women to lean in and enter their capabilities in the challenges ahead. We need everyone really to open up and feel connected to what tech industry does and the impact that we make on a lot of other industries out there in the world. So I think that's the best piece of advice that I can give to women in tech is to say you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And what you really only need is a growth mindset and an eagerness to learn. And then I truly honestly believe that everything works out really well. And that's it for me. I think that's about the time that I had. So let me also really thank you for being here today, for having lunch with us. Because in this constant world of constant movement, I'm super grateful for the opportunity to share my view on a career in tech. And I really hope that I could give you some energy to pursue your own next challenge, or maybe help and get more people on the bandwagon moving forward.
All right, thank you, Hermien. If there's anyone who has questions, you can just mute yourself and away. Or if you prefer not to talk, someone is unmuted with a lot of background noise. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just check. Thank you.
Yeah, I think.
I'm going to break the ice in the meantime that people maybe be coming up with questions, because I have a question, Hermien. I know like some people here in the audience are just getting started with their careers in tech, also from a non-technical background. And I was wondering, what advice would you give to those people who don't have a technical degree, but are inspired to start, to come across those first opportunities to start growing their career in tech? How would you recommend they would go about it?
So I do think practice makes perfect, and expertise has this pull effect. So when in anything that in any new role, what I did was to read a lot, to listen a lot to other people or to webcasts or whatever, and then go out and do it, right? So if you have a question and you don't know the answer to, that's the one to engage on, right? And to go out, for example, in front of a customer and speak about a topic you don't know really well, because that's the way you build your expertise. And I do think building that expertise continuously is important to come across opportunities, right, that you might not know of yet, but that might be the one for you. That's the way I moved into Azure. My manager simply said, we have this new product and you have to sell it. And go and do it. And then you just by doing that and keep learning and double clicking on a lot of things that you don't know. I think that's the way you build expertise that then leads to an opportunity.
Right. Other questions? I think we have one in the chat. How do you set your goals and how do you work towards to achieve them? The question in the chat.
I do that at 2 levels. I think in a more holistic level, when I think about where I want to go as a person, I never have jobs in mind, right? But I always have in mind the things I want to learn how to do. So when I was young, it was marketing, and then it was what does it take to be a seller, and then it was what does an international career look like, you know? So I'm really focusing on capabilities that I want to learn for myself, and then reflect on, so how can I use them in my next role? And so today, I'm on a new journey of being a leader to 100 people, and that's exactly the capability that I was looking for. I'm accountable for the success of 100 people. What's important, right? And I'm going to make mistakes, and I want to learn those mistakes, right? But that's the capability I really want to build. So how do I set my goals? I think about what are the capabilities I need to tackle my next challenge, and then I'll go and find things to do that help me build that capability. In terms of shorter term goals, what I do is I stopped planning on multi-year. I plan in 3 weeks, right? So I look forward and I say, okay, for example, and I do this on a professional and a personal level, but my partner and I we're reconstructing a house. So that's a goal. This house needs to be done. And then I break it up every 3 weeks. I ask myself, what do you need to do now to contribute to your longer term goals? Because that's the mistake I made for many years, is to do a lot of things that I thought would somehow contribute to my goal in the long run, and it didn't, right? I felt like I was kind of over prioritizing everything. So to go back to the essence, I really think about in the next year, what are your key goals? I want to go there on holiday. I need to do this for the house. I need to do this for my job. Okay. And then every 3 weeks, I say, what will you do today and tomorrow and the next 3 weeks to get there? And it's been super efficient, right? To just hit my goals. And I think ultimately that's what you do, right? Long-term success is made every day. But being intentional about what you do every day really helps.
All right. We have more questions in the chat from Chuktidas. Could you describe a typical day for you as a sales specialist?
So a lot of questions about forecasts. It's an American stock noted company. So know the numbers and think about how to make the numbers is an everyday thing. Secondly is working with people, right? So communicating a lot, sharing a lot, asking a lot of questions. So as a sales specialist, particularly, I think this has to do with the people you work with, especially on the customer side. What are their needs? What are their goals? I would say as a leader, I also add the dimension of what my organization needs, right? What do the managers of the sales specialist needs? And as an organization, how do we need to evolve, and what's my accountability here every day? I check in on that, and one of those things that I then obviously do a lot is recruitment, right? I speak to a lot of people about, you know, working at Microsoft and working in my organization.
All right. We have two more questions. So from Oluwatobi, do you give opportunities to tech switchers at Microsoft, and what are the criteria to be considered for this opportunity?
I would love to get clear on tech switchers, because my interpretation of that is that somebody who's not technical who wants to start in tech. Would that be correct?
We'll have to ask Oluwatobi. Is that what you mean? I'm guessing so, but.
Yes, that's what I mean. Like someone who is switching from a non-tech background and wants to switch into tech fully.
Absolutely. And that's why I shared my journey, right? So it might not be, your starting point might not be a code developer. That would be a bridge too far, but there's no need for that. There's a lot of jobs that we have in sales and marketing in our partner organization, our product organization, that allows that, where we actually need a different perspective. And so in my organization, for example, I was just involved in the hiring of two sellers that have an industry background but no tech sales background. And the reason why we want these people to come on board is we need to start thinking about what do our customers need at a deeper level. You know, we need a better understanding of what the world needs, so we can translate technology to actual solutions. So in my opinion, as I said before, what you need to get started also at Microsoft is a strong affinity for digital transformation and technology, and an eagerness to learn, of course, because at some point you will need to be able to present about technology, but have the knowledge is not a must-have to get started. We definitely give those opportunities on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Then last question. You said choose the technology and the company you work for. Did you choose this on purpose when you started in Microsoft?
Absolutely. So, by the way, that statement is something that I've learned throughout the years, and it's super important to me. I find myself repeating it a lot as well. So I'll be very honest, when the opportunity came to join Microsoft, it was actually, I was quite young, 28, and it was actually my father who said, you go, just sign and go, because the environment will be the best school for you to learn, even if you're there only for 1 year. You know, a company like Microsoft that has such a good reputation, is such a solid performer, is going to teach you more than you will teach it. And he was 100% right. The only thing I found was to persist, and in working at Microsoft, it was the company and the group of people that make the company that really convinced me, because you know that Microsoft has made some choices in the past that were not popular, right? No, sometimes we were not liked by everyone, and still we sometimes, you know, we have a product that doesn't work, and it's uncomfortable. So you have to fundamentally support the company you work for as well, and also feel at ease. I think you bring your best game and your best work when you feel appreciated at a company, and where you feel like you can grow, right? So that's something that I've learned along the way, and I would apply if I would need to find another company to work for. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. Thank you so much, Hermien. We're now going to go into the breakout sessions. Please don't run away.